Hey, I'm Aiden.
And I'm Stacey.
And today we're going to be looking at small businesses in Australia. They're companies which employ less than 20 people.
Did you know that out of all Australia there are 2.1 million companies and 96% of these are small businesses?
We're talking about taxi drivers, fishermen, tradesmen, professionals, coffee shop owners.
A huge engine room of commercial activity that actually keeps the country running.
And did you know that most small businesses are family-owned businesses?
Really?
Yeah, really. And that those small businesses are the largest source of innovation in Australia and also provide jobs for 4.8 million people.
Now let's have a snapshot and see how these small businesses are doing.
I'm a builder and a small business owner. I work about 60 to 80 hours a week, always have done, probably always will do, because that's just what you've got to do today to survive.
I'm a medical practitioner on the Gold Coast in Queensland, and I've been running a small business, a medical deputising service for about 32 years now. Unfortunately, the government intervened, and medicine is a very government-dependent activity. Overnight, we found a third of our revenue was lost.
My name's Greg Elford. I've been a commercial fisher my entire life. Since I was 15 years old, I've fished for 25 years. We've lost. The government take.
Yeah, hello, my name's Mark Kent. I'm a broadacre grain farmer from South Australia, and I've been farming for the last 30 years. Regional rural Australia is made up predominantly of small businesses. Those people are working between 60 and 80 hours a week and find themselves even still struggling as of today.
Working in a hospitality industry cafe, I work between 75 and 95 hours per week. The governments need to look at penalty rates. We're in a service industry. We're the only country in the world that has penalty rates on these weekends, and it's really counterproductive.
Hello, I'm Stuart Valentine. I'm a ship designer. I've started this company 37 years ago, and I've run it successfully since then. I work 60 to 80 hours a week. Now that the system in Australia is geared against effort, I have never seen the country in such bad shape in 37 years.
For the last 20 years, no government has provided the incentive or the encouragement to small businesses. They've just continually put additional burdens on a small business and cost. Australia needs the incentives for government to support both family business and small business going forward.
Small business these days have got it so tough. Everywhere I go, all I hear is it's never been tougher, never been harder. We need help, we need less regulations, we need less taxes. It's just killing us.
The thing that affects all small businesses is the regulations, the paperwork required for taxation, for business registration and the functioning of your business. Obviously, the most painful thing of all is the more successful you become, there's the imposition of the payroll tax that is just an absolute killer for everyone who's striving to improve their business and expand.
It's almost the opposite, where we see governments proposing parental leave going forward. Particularly small business cannot afford additional burden costs.
Small businesses across the nation are being punished by insidious disincentives such as payroll tax. How stupid and such a huge disincentive is payroll tax, and other imposts. At every corner there's imposts, rules, regulations, fees, and people telling us how we shouldn't, couldn't and wouldn't run a small business.
Red tape is a big problem in small business because we do have a time problem with running our businesses and keeping up with all the red tape that everyone seems to give us.
Example is payroll tax, which generates for the states about $22 to $25 billion a year. It's a disincentive to business, would employ a free investor of those businesses about 400,000 people.
We've got no ground left to work what we have got. What more do they want to take from us? We need a government with some balls basically to stand up and help our producers get back on our feet. We've just got to cut the red tape, paperwork. It takes up nearly 20 hours, 30 hours a week just to run a small business with a couple of boats.
Small business is the engine room of Australia, and this is the only place that offers great scope for improved employment, improved training and innovation.
So who are you going to vote for at the next election?
A lot of talk about politics these days and which side you're on. Who'll be getting my vote is the government that truly help small business and stop trying to break our backs. There's millions of us across this country. We do count.
I'll be voting for Australia's largest voting bloc, and that's for small business within Australia.
With respect to the coming election, I would like to see anyone who advocates improved functioning of small business to be the one elected.
My vote will go to a government that can fix some of these problems and quickly. They need to address the penalty rate situation because of negative effect it has on all industry in terms of staff taking home money and circulating it.
So who am I going to vote for at this next election? I'll be voting for the party that stands up for small business, who stands up to unshackle small business and the ridiculous things like payroll tax.
Stacey, did you know that last year the Greens created 55 small businesses?
Really?
Yeah, they used to be big businesses.
In summary, all small businesses in Australia have had it up to here with rules, regulations and fees. All we hear is the bleeding hearts of some bureaucrats that are going to be laid off, or some unions that, and both of those in their comfy 35 hours a week, struggling through 35 hours a week thinking they're heroes, when in actual fact the government should be paying more attention to small business. So in this coming election I would urge the 4.8 million people working in small businesses to vote for someone with spine that can actually rectify this and rectify it quickly.